What's going on, guys? Tonight we are bringing you my Phantom Knight deck profile. There's a little bit of story behind this, so technically this is post ban list, but it's something I was messing around with for the last week or so before the ban list came out, because I was expecting Verte to get banned, which of course it did. And so locals last Saturday, I finished top 4 with this. It worked really well, but like I said, it was built without Verte, so kind of it was suboptimal considering the format we were in, but it still performed really well. You know, there were a few games I misplayed in. I think I could have done better for sure. There were a couple games that I think I gave away. I'm still learning it. I'm still getting better. So, you know, just a good learning experience. But again, we'll get into it. I'll show you what I did, maybe talk about some things I changed, and let's jump into it. So for the main deck, of course, you're playing 3 Torn Scales, so this is pretty standard. It does a ton for the deck. It's just you want to see this in your opening hand as much as possible. Max it out. The lineup for PKs is pretty standard. So I play 3 Silent Boots. It's a free extender. You know, sometimes if you do break, but you can at least get to this, you can still search a Fog Blade and have that level of interruption, which is good. So I maxed that out. 2 Ancient Cloak. I almost want to cut this to 1, but if you open it, you can't play. And so you need this in deck. So that's why I play 2. It's not the worst normal summon. You'll see I play plenty of extenders. And so if you do end up normaling this and, you know, going into Cherubini through this, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. 1 Stain Greaves. This comes up a ton. I see some profiles where people are cutting this. I really like this. I think it's too good not to have. It does too much. Sometimes you just need that extra extender. Depending on what you open with these, a lot of times you're able to search this and it's kind of a bonus, but it does matter. Maybe it's a little bit win more, but it makes those boards, your best boards, that much easier to do. And so I really like 1 copy. 1 Ragged Gloves. This is a must. You're sending this to dump a trap. Really good. That's it for the Phantom Knights. So next, you're playing 3 Tour Guide and 3 Kagamucha Knight. I absolutely loved this. So for those of you that don't know, normal summon Tour Guide, they ash it. Normal summon Tour Guide, effect Chainlink 1, Kagamucha Knight to summon itself, Chainlink 2, they can't ash this. So this actually did come up, and it was the difference between me winning and losing. I absolutely love this. At the end of the day, this is just an extender, right? You can special it out when you normal a level 3 monster. So really, really good. And Tour Guide's just incredible. So love playing 3 of that. To summon off the Tour Guides, you're playing the Burning Abyss package. And so I play Libic because the way I look at it is if you don't play Libic, both of these are bricks. If you do play Libic, none of them are bricks, right? And if you open multiples, you can still combo off. So it makes these playable if you play Libic. And that's why at the end of the day, I choose to play this. You know, I see people cut this, I get it. You can if you want, but I just prefer this. So for the extenders, these 2 to summon off of E-Tally, which I'll throw there. You know, I didn't play Ghost Ogre. I think it's not as good. It was better earlier in the format. I think especially now in the new format after the ban list, I don't think Ogre is going to be as good. So I just like these because if I open them, they're extenders. And so a lot of times you can get monsters on board, force your opponents to react before you use your normal summon. And you end up winning a lot of games that way. So that was really good. This is what, I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but like this is what makes this deck so good, is being able to play Droplet. All your traps are good in the graveyard. All your monsters mostly are good in the graveyard. So it's kind of free, and it's obviously a game-winning, game-ending card. So this was really important. This is something that, you know, in previous formats, I think has been so impactful. For me on Saturday, this wasn't that impactful. There was actually a time where I opened 2 of them and the guy used Barone to negate 1, And so I used the second one to try and take his Barone, and he just went Shooting Riser into Black Rose and board wiped me, and that was the game. So other than that, this wasn't as impactful as I was hoping it would be. So this is probably something that going forward might become a different, a hand trap or something a little different, because I don't play any hand traps necessarily in this deck. They're all triple tack droplets, going second card, stuff like that. So we'll see if I think that's probably going to change. I did main 2 Twin Twisters. This came up once. The guy kind of bricked, set some back row, but he was playing branded, and I think he set a branded in red, and I hit it, and he literally told me, he was like, I wasn't expecting that, and it ended up being the difference in the game. It made what might have been difficult, a game that might have been difficult to win, it made it a free win. I like this. I always like having a little bit of back row removal in my deck, and I played this over Cosmic because, again, that discard, it isn't bad in this deck, so I like that. One called by, play this and everything, it's incredible. Rhoda, obviously, to search, pretty self-explanatory there. So 3 Fogblade, I like having 3. The whole point of this deck without Verte, and I think this is really important, the whole point of this deck without Verte is you're trying to win because you have multiple levels of interaction, right? You have monsters that can interact, and you have traps set. And so Lightning Storm doesn't automatically kill you. Dark Ruler No More doesn't automatically kill you. It's just having those different levels of interaction makes this deck, for me, I think that's what made this deck stronger than it should have been for something that was being played admittedly suboptimal. So yeah, 3 Fogblade, really important. 1 Shade Brigandine, it comes up sometimes, it's nice to have. 1 Wing and 1 Sword. So I play 2 of these, again, because of the build I was playing and so many discard outlets. Seeing these is kind of free. I mean, it's just like it's just an extender. But realistically, the entire day, only 1 of these came up. Like I never needed the second one. And so it stands out to me as something that it was nice to have, but a little win more, a bit of a luxury. I can probably cut it and replace it with something more impactful. So we'll see see how this changes with the format. Let's hop into the extra deck. So this is where it's a little different. Obviously, Cherubini and Rusty, self-explanatory. Yeah, really good. So this sends for cost. It's really important to remember that. Yeah, I misplayed because I'm an idiot. I was literally talking all day about how this sends for cost. Like I would literally summon this and go send for cost, and people would think about responding and then realize it's cost and think better. Somebody used Gloomy to summon this out of my graveyard and send an Enchantress, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I actually I activated Fogblade on it, and the second I did it, I was like, what am I doing? And that was at the end of the day, so I'm gonna blame being tired, but just ridiculous. But yeah, really good. 1 Dark, this is incredible. It's so good in this format, so play that. Appaloosa, this does not come up that often. This could honestly probably get cut, but we'll see, So 1 Underworld Goddess, I absolutely love this card in this deck. You can put a lot of monsters on board really quick, and if they're playing something that's hard to play around, no one sees this coming for some reason. Like it's a card, it's been a card for a while, it's really good, but it's just no one sees it coming. And so you can literally just drop monsters on board, drop this, and it ends games. And so that's exactly one of the games that came up. I did that. I don't remember, I think he had DPE and he was just saving the effect, and I literally just linked it off, and that was it. I didn't have to deal with it again. So yeah, really good. Access code, obviously, just play 1 if you have 1. If you don't, bore load, something like that, but it ends games. 2 Break Sword, this is incredible, just being able to pop and then special summon the materials back. I never needed the second one, but I've been playing this for a bit, and a lot of times I do, but Saturday didn't need it, but yeah. 2 Leviair, so for this version, you need 2. It's how you're making F-Zero and then Draco Future, so you have to play 2. Really, really good. Recycles your pieces too, so in a grind game, it's important. Raiders Night and Ark Rebellion. This card is incredible. This just ends games. People don't see it coming. They don't know what it does. And so basically the idea, you go Break Sword, pop it, it special summons the pieces back. They're level 4, you make Raiders Night, and then go up into this, and then this just, it's a one shot to end games. It's awesome. So I love that card. And one Zeus. Zeus did come up. Ironically, this came up because I'm an idiot and I misplayed. I summoned, let's see what I had. I had Rusty and I summoned Break Sword, and I pointed to the wrong card. And I meant to use this effect, and I don't know what I was thinking. I used this effect and just locked myself. And so I couldn't get this off the board, so I had to attack and then use 3 and my Leviator, which I had on board, and just go into F0 and all the way up into this. So kind of funny, but it's a really good card to have, so I like Zeus. I'm gonna show the side deck because the side deck was, I think, the difference between me you know, being top 4 and not being top 4. The side deck really, it was crucial. A lot of my wins came because I drew side deck cards. So ironically, Nibiru was not one of them. I did not side this in once, but
Nibiru's fallen out of favor, I've noticed.
Yeah, but still, really good card. Pank, I sided it in, didn't see it. Twin Twister, but this is just back row removal. So, you know, I didn't see any of those, but I did side them in. This is the card. I'll just put these. These are the cards that literally won me 2 or 3 games, single-handedly. I Solemn Judgmented a Forbidden Droplet twice, and it won me the game. Anti-Spell won me a game against Branded Despia. The guy just had no answer to it, and so this was incredible. But yeah, Judgment was just an absolute game ender. Both times, guy goes Droplet, I go Judgment, and that was it. So incredible. I think it's just so powerful. Great side deck option. One Reboot, great in theory, didn't come up. And then Evenly, I really needed this. In my last match, I went to the game 3 and I literally sided in, I think I sided in like 12 cards, and I wished everything I had and didn't see any of them. And this is what I was hoping to top deck, because this would have won me the game and I didn't get it. But that's Yu-Gi-Oh! So this was my deck profile. Like I said, it performed really well being suboptimal. I guess now this, you know, I'm not gonna say that my deck build is optimal, but I thought it was pretty good. So test it out, make changes. If you have any suggestions, comment them down below. I know this is a new format. Like I said, this was designed and played in the old format, but it is legal for this format. So test it out. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much. Have a good one.